Listen to me for a moment, and please do not scroll away, because what I am about to say may sound small at first, almost too simple, but it may explain why your nights feel heavy, why your mind never fully settles, and why your prayers feel delayed even when your faith is still alive. There may be something sitting on your bed right now that does not belong there. It looks normal. It feels harmless. You may touch it every day without a second thought, but little things can shape spiritual atmosphere in a very big way. Stay with me, because this is not about fear. It is about awareness. It is about peace returning to your home. It is about making room for rest again. Many people pray for open doors, fresh joy, clear direction, deeper sleep, and strength for the next day, yet they keep carrying the noise of the world into the very place where they are supposed to recover. And then they wonder why they wake up tired, tense, distracted, and empty. Tonight I want to show you something hidden in plain sight. I want to talk about your bed, not just as furniture, not just as a place where your body drops after a long day, but as a private space where your soul becomes quiet, where your spirit becomes open, and where peace is either welcomed or pushed away by the habits you repeat without thinking. Your bedroom is more important than most people realize. It is one of the quietest spaces in your whole life, and quiet spaces always matter. During the day you are busy, you are talking, you are working, you are carrying pressure, you are answering messages, solving problems, handling people, and moving from one demand to the next. But at night everything slows down. The noise fades, the guard drops, the strong face disappears. That is why this space matters so much. Your bed is where your body rests, but it is also where your mind releases the day, and where your inner life becomes exposed. In that stillness, peace can settle in deeply, but confusion can also linger if the atmosphere is off. Do not miss this. Some people think only church spaces matter. Some think only public prayer matters. But the truth is, private spaces shape public strength. What happens in the secret place often shows up in the visible life. If your nights are full of unrest, your days will feel weaker. If your place of rest is treated carelessly, your spirit may carry a quiet heaviness that you cannot explain. This is why you need to start seeing your room differently, not with panic, not with superstition, but with spiritual care. Your bed is not just where you sleep, it is where you surrender. It is where you stop striving for a few hours and place yourself in the hands of God. That space should not be treated like a dumping ground for the stress of the world. Think about the last time you woke up truly refreshed, not just awake, not just out of bed, I mean restored, clear, light, calm. The kind of morning where your thoughts were not racing, where your chest did not feel tight, where your soul felt like it had actually been cared for during the night. For many people that kind of rest has become rare, and it was never meant to be rare. Deep rest is not a luxury for a few lucky people. It should be a normal part of life. Real rest repairs more than muscles. It settles the heart, it clears the mind, it gives strength back to the spirit, and that is why the place of rest should be guarded. Sleep is not just a shutdown, it is a release, it is a handoff. It is the moment when you stop holding everything together and admit that you need help beyond your own effort. There is something holy in that. There is something powerful in that. Yet many people carry tension into bed, clutter onto the sheets, noise under the pillow, and stress right beside their head, and then they wonder why peace feels far away. If you want a different kind of night, you may need a different kind of honor for the place where you sleep. Keep listening, because what comes next may change the way you see your routine forever. Some open doors do not come from dramatic choices. They come from repeated carelessness in ordinary moments, and ordinary moments can shape the atmosphere of an entire home. Most people only pay attention to what they can see. They look at their schedule, their bank account, their job pressure, their body, their responsibilities, and they assume the struggle begins and ends there. But life is deeper than what eyes can measure. There is a quiet side to reality that many people ignore until the effects become too strong to deny. Sometimes the real issue is not just around you. Sometimes it is in the atmosphere you keep creating without knowing it. Sometimes you are addressing symptoms while the root sits unnoticed in your own room, in your own habits, in the patterns you repeat every single night. That is why awareness matters. If you never stop to examine what surrounds your rest, you may keep fighting the wrong battle in the wrong way. You may keep asking why peace feels blocked when the answer is much closer than you think. There are people who pray hard, worship deeply, and still feel like something is not shifting. Not because heaven is silent, but because their private environment is crowded with disorder, distraction, pressure, and residue from the day. This is not about blaming people. It is about waking up. Sometimes the breakthrough begins with a very simple act of obedience. Sometimes the shift begins when you stop calling everything normal just because it is common. Some things become dangerous not because they are loud, but because they are familiar. That is why you need fresh eyes tonight. Slow down, look around. Ask yourself what has become so normal in your room that you no longer even question it. The enemy rarely announces himself with noise. Very often the attack is quiet, slow, patient, subtle. It comes through habits you never thought to challenge. It comes through patterns you inherited. It comes through carelessness that feels too small to matter. But small things matter when repeated long enough. Disorder matters. Casualness matters. The way you handle sacred spaces matters. A slow leak can empty a full tank. A tiny crack can weaken a strong wall. In the same way, little open doors can drain peace over time. That is why you cannot afford to live on autopilot. You cannot afford to say, it is just a habit, when that habit may be feeding confusion. You cannot afford to say, it is only a room, when that room shapes your rest. The enemy studies patterns. He looks for unguarded spaces, overlooked routines, and careless moments where no one is paying attention. He does not always need a dramatic fall. Sometimes all he needs is constant distraction, low-level heaviness, broken sleep, dark thoughts, and a house that never fully feels peaceful. That is enough to wear people down. This is why order matters. This is why purity matters. This is why intention matters. Not because perfection saves you, but because attention protects you. A cared-for space sends a message. It says peace lives here. It says this room will not host confusion. It says this home will not become a resting place for fear, pressure, or spiritual filth. And yes, that starts with the bed. The place where you lay your head should reflect peace, not chaos. Now let me get very practical, because this is where many people miss it. There are ordinary things people throw on their bed every day without thinking. Shoes, outdoor clothes, bags, wallets, work items, laptops, phones, random clutter from a long day. These things feel normal because they are part of life. But life outside your home is full of pressure, stress, noise, temptation, fear, and endless striving. Your belongings move through all of that with you. Your shoes touch every surface you walk on. Your clothes carry the scent and feeling of every place you entered. Your wallet is tied to buying, selling, pressure, bills, and the constant mental weight of survival. Your phone is a non-stop portal of voices, images, arguments, lust, fear, bad news, comparison, and distraction. Then many people come home and drop those same items directly onto the bed. Think about that. The very place meant for peace becomes a shelf for the residue of the outside world. The very place meant for quiet becomes a landing spot for pressure. The very place meant for restoration becomes crowded with the symbols of stress. No wonder so many people lie down but do not feel settled. No wonder sleep feels shallow. No wonder the heart stays restless long after the lights go out. This is not about making ordinary objects evil. It is about recognizing what they represent, what they carry emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, and why they should not be placed carelessly where your soul is supposed to breathe. Picture it clearly. You walk through a long day filled with tension, disappointment, traffic, noise, crowded spaces, money pressure, emotional weight, hidden anger, silent anxiety, and digital overload. Then you step into your room and throw your shoes on the bed. You toss your worn clothes over the pillow. You drop your wallet on the blanket. You leave your phone charging beside your face or even under your pillow while messages, alerts, images, and noise remain only inches from your head. Then you try to rest. But what have you really done? You brought the day into the night. You carried the outside atmosphere into the inner room. You let pressure climb into bed with you. That is the part many people never think about. Rest is not only broken by what you feel, it is also disturbed by what you allow to stay close. The bed should not carry the dust of the road, the sweat of stress, the energy of striving, and the noise of constant connection. It should carry peace. It should hold clean space, settled thoughts, and a heart that is handing over the day instead of reliving it. If this feels simple, good. Simple truth often goes deeper than complicated ideas. And if this is hitting your heart right now, do not brush it off. This may be the exact area where change needs to begin. Sometimes the answer is not far away. Sometimes it is sitting right there on the mattress, disguised as habit, waiting for you to finally notice that what feels common has been affecting your peace all along. Some people hear this kind of message and immediately think it sounds extreme, but stay with me. Throughout Scripture, physical things often connect with spiritual reality. A place can carry peace, a house can feel heavy, a room can feel calm or troubled before a word is spoken. We all know this in real life. You can walk into one home and feel settled. You can walk into another and feel tension in the air. So do not pretend atmosphere is fake just because it is hard to measure. It is real. It shows up in your body, your thoughts, your sleep, your reactions, your patience, and your clarity. Objects themselves are not the center of the issue. The issue is what they bring with them and what place you give them in your life. If your phone has become a gate for fear, lust, envy, anger, gossip, and endless noise, why would you place it in the most intimate space of rest without setting boundaries? If your work bag represents constant pressure, why would it sit where peace is supposed to settle? If your dirty clothes carry the whole day on them, why would they touch the place where you want to wake up refreshed? This is wisdom, not fear. This is care, not bondage. The goal is not to become obsessive. The goal is to become intentional. Clean space helps create clear rest. Guarded space helps create deeper peace. Honored space often becomes peaceful space. And if peace has been missing, then maybe tonight is the night to change the pattern and stop calling carelessness normal. So what should you do? Start simple and do it tonight. Clear the bed completely. Remove anything that does not belong where you sleep. No shoes, no worn clothes, no random bags, no stack of papers, no wallet, no work laptop, no clutter from the day. If possible, move the phone away from the pillow and away from your hand. Let the bed become a true resting place again. Make it clean, make it quiet, make it feel separate from the rush of the outside world. Then do one more thing people often forget. Pray over the space. It does not have to be long. It does not have to sound impressive. Just be honest. Ask for peace in the room. Ask for cleansing over the atmosphere. Ask that every heavy thing from the day be broken off and left outside that moment of rest. Ask for calm sleep, clear dreams, and renewal in your mind. You can even make a simple routine of it. Straighten the bed, put things away, dim the noise, breathe slowly, speak peace over the room, read a little truth before sleep, instead of feeding on fear from a screen. This is how you shift atmosphere in practical ways. It is not complicated, but it is powerful. And do not underestimate repeated obedience. Small faithful actions change a room. A changed room can change a night. A changed night can change your strength. A changed strength can change the way you think, pray, work, speak, and live. That is why this matters more than it first appears. But let me go deeper, because clearing the bed is only the beginning. You also have to clear what follows you into the bed. Some people remove the clutter from the room but keep the clutter in the mind. They lie down with resentment. They lie down with silent panic. They lie down replaying every insult, every disappointment, every fear, every worst-case scenario. The room gets cleaner, but the atmosphere inside them stays loud. So yes, clean the space, but also release the weight. Before sleep, forgive quickly. Refuse to carry bitterness into the night. Break agreement with fear. Refuse anxious spirals. Stop feeding on content that stirs lust, rage, envy, and confusion right before bed, then expecting holy peace 5 minutes later. Guard your eyes at night. Guard your ears at night. Guard your last moments before sleep, because the final voice you listen to often echoes through the night. Replace endless scrolling with quiet. Replace panic with prayer. Replace digital noise with stillness. Replace mental chaos with simple truth. Even your body responds to peace when your spirit chooses it. Slow breathing helps. Soft light helps. Silence helps. Gratitude helps. Worship helps. Gentle truth helps. This is not about building a performance. It is about preparing for rest with intention instead of collapse. Too many people do not enter sleep. They crash into it. And there is a difference. One leads to renewal. The other only pauses exhaustion for a few hours. If you want peace to return, then create a doorway for peace, in the room, in the habits, and in the heart. When you begin honoring your place of rest, you may notice changes faster than you expect. Your nights may feel calmer. Your thoughts may stop racing as much. Your sleep may become deeper. You may wake up with more clarity and less heaviness. You may feel more sensitive to what does and does not belong in your home. That is not your imagination. That is what happens when disorder loses its place and peace is welcomed back. Some people have lived so long under low-level heaviness that they forgot what lightness feels like. They got used to tired mornings, restless dreams, inner irritation, and a room that never truly felt peaceful. But you do not have to stay there. You can change the tone of your nights. You can reclaim your room. You can train your habits to support peace instead of fighting it. And if you are a parent, this matters for your whole home. If you are married, this matters for the atmosphere you share. If you live alone, this still matters, because solitude should not become a house for clutter, noise and pressure. It should become a place where peace has room to breathe. Start tonight. Walk through the room with new eyes. Ask what belongs and what does not. Ask what supports peace and what feeds disorder. Ask what helps you rest and what keeps you spiritually and mentally wired. The answers may be simpler than you expected, but simple answers can still open major doors. Do not despise small changes. Small changes done faithfully can unlock very deep restoration over time. I also want to say this with care. This is not about earning blessing. Peace is not bought by perfect habits. Grace is still grace. Love is still love. God is still kind even when people are careless. But kindness often calls us higher. Love often teaches us how to honor what we once ignored. And when you learn to honor the small things, you often find that the big things begin to shift too. A peaceful room can support a peaceful mind. A peaceful mind can support steady prayer. Steady prayer can support wise choices. Wise choices can support stronger days. This is how restoration builds, layer by layer, night by night, choice by choice. So do not wait for some dramatic sign. Do not wait for the perfect mood. Do not wait until life becomes less busy. Begin with the space where you will lay your head tonight. Make that place clean. Make it calm. Make it separate. Let it stop being a storage space for stress. Let it become a place of surrender again. And if this message feels uncomfortably simple, maybe that is exactly why it matters. Some of the deepest leaks in life come through the smallest openings. Some of the strongest shifts begin with one act of quiet obedience that nobody else sees. This may be one of those moments. This may be the night you stop carrying the world into bed with you. This may be the night you choose peace on purpose. And if you have stayed with me this far, do not miss the final step, because this is where everything comes together. Tonight, before you sleep, do 3 things. First, remove from your bed everything that carries the day, the dust, the pressure, and the noise. Second, settle your heart by releasing what you were never meant to carry through the night. Third, speak peace over your room and over your mind with simple faith. Then sleep expecting rest, not just unconsciousness. Sleep expecting renewal, not just survival until morning. Sleep like someone who is no longer making room for heaviness. If you do this consistently, your room will begin to feel different, your nights will begin to feel different, and little by little your inner life may feel different too. Peace grows where it is welcomed, rest deepens where it is protected, clarity returns where noise is pushed back. So take this seriously, but do not turn it into fear. Let it become wisdom. Let it become a new habit. Let it become a holy reset in the quietest corner of your life. And remember this before the day ends: what is common is not always harmless, what is small is not always weak, and what you allow near your place of rest can shape more than your sleep. It can shape your peace, your strength, your focus, and your next season. So clear the bed, guard the atmosphere, honor the place of rest, and let tonight be the beginning of a new kind of peace in your home.